Hi.
Oh, hi. Like we didn't see each other this morning or anything like that.
Fancy seeing
This
you
is
here.
all of a sudden, we just like just like that. We can do like a little transition, just like we're gonna do that we're gonna go from the house, we're gonna jump, and then we're gonna go. Oh, what the? what are you doing here? What are these mics?
What?
Cameras.
Oh my gosh, the lights.
Wow.
My lipstick.
Is this Hollywood?
Oh my god.
Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the nameless podcast.
The Healing Tree Collective
The Healing Tree
podcast.
The Healing Tree Collective podcast for now.
For now. Forever.
Because we still have not yet put any structure to this. But we're there. We're getting there.
I don't think we need structure.
We need structure. That's the battle. That's the battle between men and women. Structure, no structure.
No, that's a battle between me and you. Because not every man and every woman is like that. But
well, I guess.
Yes, I am very good with the flow, and Angel is.
We need a plan.
We need a plan for everything, and then we're gonna execute, and then we're not gonna eat or sleep or do anything until it is done.
Wow, I mean,
am I wrong? But am I wrong?
Yes, you are.
No. Yes, I think it's because we have said this many times when we meet with somebody, even like, oh my gosh, even when somebody's just like, oh, I'm going to come see the space, or whatever. And then we start to get to know them.
Chat.
Yeah. And then we're talking and then we're like, damn, that could have been a bomb podcast.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Oh, And so that's why for me, I'm like, we don't need structure because things organically happen in conversation. And I wish so many times we had little secret cameras.
That's true.
Yeah,
and little secret microphones that would just be on us.
Like poof, like that. How we poofed, oh, poof, poof, poof.
All right, let's start talking.
But you know how long it took to set this up? It takes forever.
That's true.
It's annoying, and so it takes a lot of effort. And then we're like,
by the time you're gonna get talking, you're like, oh,
I'm good. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. But
we don't even know what to talk about anymore.
I say that, and I don't even do any of this. You do. You put it all together. But yeah, I think that it does organically happen a lot, and I wish we could have recorded a lot of podcasts, honestly, in the last 3.5 or how many, a little over 3 years that we've had conversations with people, and I'm like, damn, like they were good. They were good.
And the good news is that we will have
a
lot more conversations on this podcast. We have a whole list of people lined up that I'm just like, holy shit, I don't have anything organized. I don't know how I'm gonna coordinate all of this.
We're gonna have fun.
But we have a whole list of people lined up.
We're gonna have fun, and I keep telling everyone
all the things.
You're gonna be on a podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're gonna be on a podcast.
Oh, hey, we started a podcast, by the way. You're gonna be in it. All right, yeah.
But that's how Mr. We need to get things done. That's how you get them done. You say you're gonna do it, and then you already just say it.
Just do it.
You just do it. You just do it.
So today,
we're just doing it.
We are talking about. Holy moly, like there's just so many shifts, right? Like I think that we still haven't like fully landed on like what it is, what the Healing Tree Collective, what the Healing Tree is. Like in 3 years, right? Like even though we've done so many things and it's been constantly like turn this way, turn that way, go this way, go that way, do this, do that. We're going to change it like this and we're going to do it like that. And this is what our messaging is going to be. I can just keep going on and on
forever
and on and on and on and on and on and on
and on and on and on and on.
And just in how many times we've had to shift and change and just turn direction. And I feel like we still have not fully landed, even though, the next kind of like destination point seems like a really good move for us. We still don't know if that is fully going to be it. There's just so many directions that I feel like the Healing Tree can go in. Yes. And I have so many different ideas that we can execute on.
Yes.
But I do feel very, 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 very confident in this next move with mental health and establishing the Healing Tree as a legitimate place where people come to for the benefit of their mental health.
Yeah. And I just want to name that good old social media makes people makes it look like people, you know, blow up with their business, or like, you know, they have it all figured out, and like all the little things, you know, or just the illusion and the aesthetics sometimes, you know, like, oh, something looks really good. Like, how many times have people said like, oh my gosh, you guys look like you are just like blowing up and everything's going great, because they looked at our social media. And so I really appreciate when people share like how hard it is.
Oh, I thought I wasn't recording.
Me too.
That's why you need another studio, you know, person behind the scenes.
Well, we can't multiply ourselves.
Sorry.
Yes. So I really appreciate when people say like really, really like how for real, like how hard it is. A lot of people, I think, and I have felt that myself, like if you start to say like, oh, we still don't really know exactly what we're doing. Oh, we're going to try another thing. You start to feel like you're failing, you know, like, oh my God, how do we not have it figured out? And it's only been a year, you know? And it's like, well, it's only been a year. And also I do want to name that we didn't already come into it with a plan, obviously. We had no idea what we were doing. And so that's makes it harder when you're going backwards, you know, like you can say, this is what I want to create and this is what we're going to do. And then yes, you pivot naturally because you got to refine it, or you realize, wait, this is actually a better route. Cool. But we had nothing
or any experience in building a studio, you know, like no experience in a brick and mortar business. None of that.
Nor did I ever want this.
I would say neither did I, because I was very, very, very proud of having built an online business that gave me so much freedom.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I went backwards, you know, in having a brick and mortar, right? Because like, you know, online digital is, I don't have to be anywhere. Right. My entire business was virtual.
Yeah. So,
and that's like a dream business for most people.
Yes, it still is for me.
Me too. Which we will go there.
Yes,
we will go there again.
But yeah, so I just wanted to name all that and to say, like, you know, it's one thing to be like, oh, I want to pursue a business and this is where I'm going to go, right? But when you don't have any of that, and then you have to go through it, and you have to go through all the things that you didn't know people who start a business go through, it's a little painful. It's a lot of painful. And it's crazy because it's like, again, perspective, right? Like, oh my God, we've had to pivot again. Oh my God, we have to do this. Oh my God, we've had to change this. Oh my God, we've had to cut things off with certain people. Oh my gosh, we've had to do, you know, literally put our foot down on some things and say no to other things.
Hold
and
like strong boundaries, even though people are constantly pushing them or, you know, crossing them or trying to cross them.
That's a whole other podcast. You know,
but that's hard.
Yeah. So just like all this constant change, I feel like people think, like, people meaning me, that you think that like it has to just like happen just overnight and you just know already and it's going to grow. And I think a part of us did think that was what was going to happen.
I did. I really, really did.
And that's not what happened. But basically, I'm going to tie this up with a little bow and say that we are literally in it.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't. I mean, yeah, sure. Some people do like explode right away, and like, you know, that's how that goes, and it doesn't take as long. Some people it takes longer, you know, whatever. Stop with the comparison, right? But we are in it right now. And so sometimes I have to remember that when I get frustrated and like, oh my God, it's still, you know, and like, oh, we still don't have like it all together. We don't have everything like lined up and blah, 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 whatever, right?
Or it's still not fully paying for itself.
Yes, yes.
I'm still having to pull money out of my pocket to pay for it.
Yes. And that's going to be another podcast to talk about.
Out of my family's money.
Real.
It's hard.
The real, for real. Like the real, the raw, the ugly, the fucking detrimental. Can I say that word?
Detrimental?
No.
Yeah.
The F word.
Oh,
Can I or no? Do we want to eliminate? I don't have to.
I guess if it adds to your.
No, of course I'm going to want to, but I'm saying if we
it
want to.
adds to the.
If you want to keep the podcast.
Oh, yes, my lady. we do. I don't know how you want to.
Okay, I'll try not to. Yeah, the detrimental moments that we have experienced.
I may drop some F-bombs here, by the way, though.
Well, that's why I want to make that clear so that I know. Do I not or can I?
Sometimes I use it to like add the
That's
extra
why
oomph.
we use it. Yes.
Extra oomph.
I'm just trying to set the tone, my friend, so that I know, can I or not? But yeah, so we are in it, and it is effing hard.
Yeah, there you go.
It is so hard. It is so hard. And I see the visual. I'm trying to put this into words. You know, when somebody like gets to where they wanted to get to or whatever, right? Like you say like, okay, fine. Like we did it, blah, 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 whatever, right? And then you look back and it's almost like you're watching like this like film going by and you're like, do you remember this? Do you remember that? You know? And so I try to remember like we're in that right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're for the rest of our lives, right? That is the journey. But we're in that right now. We're watching ourselves pivot in real time, figure things out when it is so damn hard. And we're still going like a bunch of lunatics.
Tell me how you really feel.
We're psycho.
We are.
That's how I really feel.
We really are.
And I want to actually, because we're talking about this, although I would like to talk into mental health in a second, but I would like to give you your flowers. Do you know what that means? Or no?
Maybe. Where are my flowers? Because I don't see flowers there.
You don't see them.
Where are my flowers? If you're saying you're giving me flowers, I want to see flowers.
I'll get them later. Oh my God, I keep hitting this thing.
What are flowers?
No, it's when you give like somebody like acknowledgement, appreciation, props? Or praise or props.
Yeah, props. Sure. Right, like that.
Okay. We can do both. That, even though I have wanted to absolutely do unthinkable things to you.
Ooh, tell me.
No, not like that.
No. What kind of podcast is this now? Tell me, please.
No. Because I feel like I would always like project my anger onto you and say like, you put us through this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's not, let me make this clear. It was never that I never wanted to do this for the community, that I didn't believe in what we were doing, because that was always there. Like I knew how special and potent what we were creating was, and more so because of who we are and how I do. Now I can say that confidently. Before I'd be like, oh my God, I'm not going to say that about myself. But we are such good people. And I know that that's why people feel that when they come. And also, I couldn't help but my mama bear come out and be like, why the hell am I putting my family through this when I can't fucking pay my bills? Like, make it make sense. And so I feel like I would project a lot of my anger towards you. And I think I still have that lingering a little bit. It's so hard because I just want us to be good. You know? And it's like one of those stories where you're like, what is a good person? Like Cinderella. Stupid fairy tales. But you know, like, stupid meaning because it's always like, oh my God, my Prince Charming, I'm just going to marry you and I don't know you. But that's a whole other podcast. Anyway, but you know, she's such a good person, has a good heart. And then, you know, we see these stories all the time. We hear them in our culture, like, you know, all these things. And then you're living it and you're like, what the hell? I don't want this. Mm-hmm. I don't want this. I don't want to be suffering because I'm doing something good for the community, you know? So back to me giving your flowers. I have never in my life
what are you going to say?
met anyone with such determination and when we started this, yes, you may not have known about all the modalities. You may have just started to dip your toes into breath work. You know, you may have just started to experience what it was. You didn't really know much about it. You knew business, you know, but never for 1 second was your full heart not in it. Like, never. Your full heart has been in it this whole time, and sometimes I want to punch you in the face because when it would get so hard, because I was like, why don't you give up? But you don't give up. Like, you don't give up, and you're so determined. And I feel like that's why I'm like, fuck, well, I'm going to keep supporting you, and let's just keep going, you know? But many times I wanted to do very unthinkable things to you. And just seeing you pivot so beautifully and say like, no, but now we're going to work with mental health practitioners or professionals, and we're going to build this whole thing, and we're going to help them, and then you fucking do it overnight. Like, okay, it wasn't overnight, but
it took me 2 weeks. It took me like 2 months.
But you do it. Like, you do it. And sometimes I'm like, why are you not like this billionaire? Because you have the potential to solve so many things for so many people. And then I'm like seeing us in real time in our situation. And I'm like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. And I know that we had to do our own learning and growing. And I know that that's one thing that I will say always, that no matter what dark hole we put ourselves in financially, you know, that we have learned so much, we have grown so much, and I'm so thankful for that. Because that is priceless, right? That has no price, like, at all. The work that we've had to do in our relationship, the resiliency that we've had to build when there's no money in the account and we don't know when the next dollar is going to come in, the heart that it takes to really be in service, the devotion it takes to literally give love to a space that sometimes I want to burn down, you know? I don't mean that really, okay? I am dramatic sometimes when I talk, but I don't really mean that. So yeah, that's just raw. That's raw emotion, and I lay it all out. So don't take it all literal. But yeah, it amazes me. It amazes me. And I don't know. Like, sometimes I think you're part human, part AI. I don't know. Like, wow. Are you human? I don't know. But it is wonderful, and I can't wait. I can't wait till you get to rest more, because I want you to rest more, and I want you to do more fun things for yourself. And so I am manifesting that. So yeah, I wanted to give you those flowers. There they are. I'll buy you some later.
Thank you.
From Trader Joe's, because they're the most affordable. And that's what we got right now. And with that said,
I do want to rest.
Yes. And I want you to eat a lot, and I want you to lift weights, and I want you to do all the things. And I just want to say that, like, this is the stuff. I wish we could have done it in like the hardest, most deepest time, whatever, hardest, rawest times, you know, that we could have like shared some of this stuff. But I think it was too painful, honestly, to do it in the moment. But I mean, also we're still kind of in it. I think we've
there's so much freaking like, I don't know, like toxicity would come out in expressing it in the moment, because it's like we would express it with so much anger probably, and just like in an unhealthy way that just probably would not.
And I want to emphasize that I'm willing. That's the other thing. I am willing to share all this on here as a gift to those who are like, why am I still struggling? Why isn't this just all happening overnight? Why is everyone else looking like they're all doing great? It is a gift, because this is something that I can choose to protect and say, no, I'm not going to share that with others. Yeah. But I'm sharing it as a gift because it's important to talk about these things, because it is possible. I've learned that you are struggling so hard and you want to give up, and also to find the joy and find the strength to keep going. Mm-hmm. It is possible. We just don't see that, or we don't hear other people doing it. And I do believe that when you hear somebody else say that they had to do it, or they're still doing it, then you're like, okay, then I can do it too. Mm-hmm. You know, as opposed to thinking like, believing the crap you want to believe from.
Well, no, your freaking thoughts will absolutely take over.
Well,
like
yeah,
they will
too.
completely control, whatever negative thoughts and all that stuff. Like they will literally take over and convince you that of the worst things ever.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. Like that is absolutely why we have always been that way in sharing all of our, personal life and all the things that we go through, and whether it be parenting, whether it be relationship, whether it be business, like all the things that are very vulnerable, and we don't do it because it's like, oh, be authentic, and like that's the cool thing to do now, is to be authentic. Like we have always stood by that we share, and we do it for the purpose of helping others and showing the realness of what the real is, not for hype or whatever, but to hopefully inspire other people that, if we're going through, or if we're doing it, you can do it too. And yeah, like, I lost my train of thought. Why we need other people, why we need to be together. Like if you're just alone in your own lonesomeness and your own thoughts, ruminating in your own thoughts, like again, they'll completely eat you alive. And that's why we need other people. That's why we need to be in community. That's why we need to be, together in person. Like, yeah, can we maybe have authentic connection, like over, social media, over a camera? Like, I think so, but that's a really challenging thing to do still, because again, most people set all this up and then, oh yeah, let's just get on here and let's be all vulnerable and authentic. Like you still kind of see through that. You still see through that inauthenticity of like, that was staged, like that, you guys set that up. That's still really, really hard to do. But when you're in person and, you're in spaces like this, like the Healing Tree, it's really, I think that's obviously always the most intimate, personal, real authenticity that you can experience, right? In person. So being together is so important.
What's healing is when you get to be so vulnerable and you pour everything out there, or whatever it is that you're working through, or whatever, is heavy on your heart, or whatever it is, right? And when you're witnessed by others with love, that's why this is so healing, and if you've been in a class with Angel or I, that we have shared some of our struggles, that you may have heard a little bit of this, because again, we come here too, and it for us, right? And so, yes, or even those thoughts in there were like, oh, can I not share about this stuff? Because literally the owners of the Healing Tree, and we're sharing about our struggles.
That's been so hard for me.
But I was like, no.
That's been really hard.
If I stand for being truthful
totally.
Of who you are,
totally.
and being in community, and me sharing my struggles, like does not affect my identity as the owner and where I stand in that, right?
That's been really hard.
So but I wanted to speak to going back to what we have seen truly is such deep, profound experiences that people have had here, because they feel, they know that they can share, that they can be real, that they can be met with love with whatever it is that they share they're going through. And that's not just, it's a deeper layer that you can't really find in a lot of spaces. I'm not saying that you can't, but usually you end up having that, like maybe in your close friend circle, or like something like that, not in like a space like this where you don't know who's going to come,
right? That's so powerful.
Yes.
That's so powerful in itself. Just the fact that you're in a room with people that you don't know, that people that may not look like you, that people of the opposite sex, the people of different, that look different, all these things, because for so long, whatever programming or we've been taught about, judgment of other people and based off of looks, or based off of what they talk, how they talk, or what they sound like, or whatever, all the things that like make up your identity, we've been programmed and taught to, like, whatever judgment you've programmed yourself with of those other people, like, boom, all that stuff just start, like, you'll notice it right away. You come in through these doors, there will be absolutely something that will be shown to you. absolutely, there will, like, I've always said that no matter who you are, no matter us, if it's us as the owners, no matter if it's the practitioners, no matter if it's the people coming in to receive, no matter if it's partners that are coming in here, or whoever, there is a freaking mirror right here at these doors waiting for you, you know, and there will always be something that will be shown to you, and whether you notice it or not, you know, and whatever thoughts come up. And that's why I think it's just so powerful. And
I think we've always had that intention, even from the beginning, even from the very beginning, where we didn't really know exactly what we were doing. I feel like that was always the intention that was put into the ground, rooted into the space from the very beginning, was that we wanted this place to be very transformational for people, you know, for their greater good. You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't just something to like come and do a fun night or whatever.
No. You're gonna do some deep work here, because for us, we really wanted that.
That's all I live for. That's all I, you know, that's
because that's when you create change.
Yeah.
Basically. And if we want to create change in the world, then we start with the community. Then we start with the spaces where the community is going into, right? So I feel like we've always known that. Yeah. So we're like, wait a second. Like, this is like some deep work that people are doing. And then, of course, like these series of events that happen so beautifully and magically, thank you, of us connecting with first Denise. She's the first one? Yeah. And then planting that seed, and then
with Cultivando Wellness, which
she'll be on the podcast.
Eventually you'll meet her. She'll be here, and we're going to continue diving into mental health, holistic, you know, therapies.
It won't be us crying all the time, okay? Just so you know. We're going to have really wonderful people on the podcast.
That's the beautiful conversation that I want to have, right? Like the bridging of like... the bridging of like, you know, I still got to figure out how to categorize it, but like the bridge of, you know, science-backed or science-based therapy, right? Clinical therapy, and these holistic practices type of therapy.
Yeah, you know, bringing them together. Like, both have so much power. You know, one has very ancient, like rooted foundations in whether different cultures, right? Like natural medicines that exist in the world. And then obviously we have all of the clinical science-based therapy that also has so much power, and I don't know how far back that goes, but you know, so much, both of these have so much just history and power behind them, and for whatever reason it's been like, oh, you got to choose one or the other, you know, it's this or that, and then one tries to like negate the other, and it's like, no, let's not like throw rocks at each other, it's like, let's bring them together. And if us as humans, we have many parts
exactly
in our ourselves, our identities, our internal self
system, like everything
that we would need, like that's why we built it the way we did, because we have every modality.
Exactly,
because it's like,
it's not just breath work, because and then if you only do breath work or whatever, then you become biased on just breath work, and you're only, you know, selling breath work, or not selling, but
biased. Like, I would just say
eventually that's what it would become. Like, we would constantly be just talking about this one modality, and this one modality is so powerful, and because of this and that.
I just don't like when it's like, this is the thing.
Exactly.
This is the only thing.
Yeah.
That's all. And then and it's like, well, maybe breath work isn't for everyone.
Exactly.
And you have other options. But also, like, you need different support. Like, and
then find the ones, right? Like, try them all, and then be like, oh, you know what? I really like breath work for this. And, you know, whenever I feel like this, I'm going to go to breath work. And you know what? I really like sound healing for this. And whenever I need that, I'm going to use, I got sound healing in my pocket. Oh, I want EMDR therapy or whatever. Like, I know that works for this, and that really helped me for this. Like, try them all. And then you decide, right? Don't let the modalities or whoever facilitates them decide for you. You decide, these are the ones that work for me. Yep. And now you have tools in your pocket to navigate your mental health.
What's nice is that you can experience them all here, and you can figure out what what do you feel really is truly supportive for you? And, you know, there can be different seasons. You know, there can be a season where you're like, I'm really feeling breath work. And then all of a sudden you have another season where you're like, wow, I'm really wanting to be present with my body and I'm doing a lot of yoga, you know? But again, this, even though we don't have like that label or like a license or whatever, this is all part of mental health.
Big time.
This is all part of mental health.
Big time.
Like, and imagine, like, I think that's what we were really envisioning was like, oh my gosh, if somebody is going to a therapist and they're doing this talk therapy, what can they do in between their sessions?
They can come here.
Community. But not only that, like supporting what they're working on, you know, bridging the gap between the mind and the body. Where do you have a space to practice all these things that you're wanting to work through, you know, in your sessions, in your therapy sessions? But acknowledging, and I know we had this big aha moment too, acknowledging that this is just as deep, you know, in its own ways, and to complement them like that, and to be a partner with mental health professionals. Oh my gosh, like what a beautiful way to support people to go even deeper into their journey. Because again, yes, talking is one thing, and then another is to practice what it feels like in your body, to be in community, to be sharing with others, to feel seen, to feel heard, to be witnessed, to be loved by others.
Those are all the you using your voice, you know, like those are, like you said, be heard, be seen, like using your voice, like even that alone, you know, I don't know if that's a modality in itself, but that's a modality right there. And just you like just
the sharing circle.
Like just using your voice and like learning how to like make sense of what it is that you're going through or processing. Learning, I mean, for me specifically as a man, like learning to put words to my emotions or my thoughts, like that's big, you know. And so like and doing it in a space where like I don't even need to make sense right now. I don't like
come as
nobody,
you are.
Yeah, nobody needs to understand what I'm saying. Nobody needs to like, I'm just trying. And that's literally just it, because I'll probably go home and keep processing it and keep, you know, trying to express it and however, and then eventually at some point I will get better. And I've noticed myself get better at like naming. That's what it is. It's like naming what I'm feeling or naming my emotions, you know? And that's what I feel like. It's like, it's also too like how people talk about like mind, body, spirit, right? Like everybody says mind, body, spirit. And like, what does that actually even mean? Like, how are you actually doing that? You know, how are you, whatever, if it's a practitioner or whoever, like is preaching mind, body, spirit, how are you actually teaching or helping people and like act, like literally do that, like literally do the mind, do the body and the spirit. Like we can, that's what you were saying earlier, like the mind, right? Like all the talking and talk therapy, I feel like that really addresses the mind, like the thoughts, right? And that's super powerful. That's very necessary. And then the body, like what I've learned in the last, through you, because of you, I mean, I've learned all this because of you, by the way. Like you were the one that brought me into this, so you can't be mad at me. you pulled me into this. You're the one that showed me.
I didn't know.
You're the one that like, Angel, here, look at this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. What can you do with this, Angel? Given all of your skills and your talents.
No, that was not me.
That's what you did. That's what you did.
No.
But like, okay, so then learning that like, oh, and I didn't believe this because I was like, oh, that's stupid, you know, before.
That's baloney.
Yeah, that's baloney. That like, you know, trauma and emotions all live in the body, right? Like, and that different parts of the body hold different parts, and like even your organs are connected to different emotions and all that stuff. Like, well, then how, I mean, talk therapy isn't going to address those things, right? Like you can talk like, you know, talk it all out and like maybe reframe things and like, oh, when I think about this, like, oh, I'm going to reframe it and, you know, look at it this way, right? Like kind of create different perspectives. But you can continue going on and on with that and still find yourself like living in those same moments because your body is still hasn't like processed that, right? Does that make sense or no?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's kind of like we're now addressing, like now I really find or feel like we're like holistically with the W, whole, like a whole round, like well-rounded approach to mental health. And like, even though these things have been around forever, why hasn't anybody else like thought of this? You know, why hasn't this already been done?
Well, I think it's happening. I don't know. Maybe it happens in different ways for others, but this is how it's happening for us.
We're in our own little bubble here too. So like I always tell people, like, I don't know how common these things are in other states or in other cities. You know, in Phoenix, it seems to be a very like popular thing, you know, the sound and the breath work and all these things. I don't know how common it is in other states. Yeah. You know? I
just think that it needs to be treated more with care and more with intention and integrity. Yes. When we're bringing all of these together, I mean, it's not, yes, of course, you can come to a sound bath and just relax, you know, but there might be somebody who is literally like in therapy right now working on the anxiety that they feel in their body and how they can't slow down. And so coming to a sound bath might mean integrating the work that they've been doing in therapy, but in their body, right? Because you need to, it's the integration in your nervous system and practicing that, you know, how do we practice that? Like, actually, you have to, like, you can't just say, like, you can't just
you
say,
can't just be like, all right, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down.
Right.
You know,
no. Your body's going to be like, no. You know, you have to actually practice it. And that's the thing is, like, mental health is not just mental. It is your whole entire being, your whole body. So how you move, don't move, that affects your reality. The stillness, the presence that you create versus disassociating or numbing, you know, that like creates your reality, you know. And so how do you actually practice those things so that you're actually living it and not just saying it, right? So if I say, and I'm going to do body because that's what I love. I love every modality, right? And like I said, I do believe every modality supports us in different ways, and you have to find your thing. Like, I love my Ashtara. I love it so much. And also sometimes, you know, some breath work is good. I love yoga, you know, like, I love sound healing so that I can just, you know, like really like allow everything to like melt down. I love it all.
You look like you just melted into Jello.
Yes, that's what it is. So yes, maybe some people are going to have like, ooh, this is my favorite one. And I'm like, it's my go-to. And also there are times where I'm going to need a little extra support. You know, I need a good Reiki session, you know, like they all coexist is what I was trying to say. But what I was going to say before I said all that, was that, you know, if I say, and this is just something that I'm currently working through right now, right? For my oral storytelling, right? I want to really be more confident with my presence, to own my choices, to feel confident with them when I'm on there and I'm, you know, I'm talking and all this stuff, right? If I don't experience that change in my body, I can say it all I want. I'm going to be more confident. I'm going to be more confident when I'm on stage. But for me, if I really want to do that, what's blocking me? Like, what is making me feel stuck and fearful? You know, how do I practice that? Yes. So for me, it might be
my chest.
Yes. Yeah. The shoulders, right? Yes. It'll be, you know, doing my work with Ashtara, because that for me is a very personalized experience. And also, what about when I come into a class and I share? How do I show up when I share? Am I timid? Am I like, no, let me not take up space? You know, no, I get to take up space. And this is how it feels good. And it feels safe in my body to say something, you know, or when I'm with my children and I'm playing around, you know, that's also part of it. Like, I'm going to be expressive. I'm going to like let it all out. And, you know, like I'm going to open myself up. Or gratitude, practicing gratitude, mindfulness, meditation, all of that. You know,
not
it's like
just being like, I'm grateful. Like,
no, I'm going to feel it. And
feel grateful. Feel it in your body.
I'm open to receive, you know, like what is for me.
That's still practice.
Is different. I know. That is different than me saying, I'm so grateful. How are you moving it in your body? How are you feeling it in your body? Because if the body doesn't change, nothing. If the change doesn't happen in the body, if the change doesn't happen in the body, it's not gonna happen. You know,
anywhere else.
Again, I'm kind of like, I know I'm kind of like talking more from my own personal experience, and I know everybody has different experiences, you know, but just to give an example, you know, I can have like, literally I had like almost like it was a coaching session with Mayuli, you know, and she was talking to me about, you know, some things, and then I was like, you know, and I talked it out. I talked it out, and that was great. Like, she held space, you know, it was great. And I walk out of there, and what do I have to do? How do I have to be? How do I show up? And sometimes if you go back home to the same people, it's the same old habits over and over again. You have to create that change from within, and you get to do that here. The whole body, it's the whole holistic with a W, holistic. Yes, and that's our goal.
I feel like the biggest thing that wasn't like sitting well with me, you know, because I feel like we had something so like big, so real, so powerful, so impactful that like it just wasn't sitting with me, that like we weren't being taken like serious, you know, like we weren't seen as like, wow, this is such a powerful place here in our city where real transformation is taking place, and people are coming here. Like, we weren't being seen like that, you know. And to me, that just didn't like why that was the one thing that like just kept pushing me to then like continue trying to like differentiate ourselves, right? Like, all right, I don't want to be seen like that. I don't want to be seen as just some, you know, venue space like that. That was the first thing that kind of was like, we are absolutely not that. We're not a venue. You know, when we first started, right, I wanted to have like a photo studio right here. It's like, nope, we are absolutely not going to be that. Eventually, I think we'll have a big enough space to have a creative studio like this. But it was like, no, we cannot be that, because and then we're going to be seen like that. And then we're actually not going to be taken serious for the things that we actually want to be. And so then it became like, oh, you can be a venue, you know, and you can have all these other things come in here, and people can come here and do birthday parties. And I mean, people maybe can, I think, maybe, I don't know, but we haven't done that, you know, like, you know, we can come here and just rent it out to people who want to just have a space to bring people for a celebration or something. And no, we're not going to do that either, you know. And so it just continued to evolve and differentiate ourselves. And then what you see is the norm, right? Like, just kind of, again, like, people doing these events and these types of modalities and things for people. But still, like, even that was still very much a hard like thing to separate ourselves from, because when you're constantly seeing things on social media that like, oh yeah, the Healing Tree, they do the same thing as those people. And like, no, we don't. Absolutely, like that's what frustrates me. We were always being compared to like, oh well, that space does it like that, and oh well, that other space, you know, does it like this. Well, we're not that space. You know, we're not that. Like, that is not what we are. We are completely different, and I've always felt that. Yeah. And it was just hard to actually put it into, you know, a tangible, you know, perception of what the Healing Tree is. Like, and now with this, again, this shift, now it finally feels like, yes, this is that big differentiator that I've been wanting to create from all the other things that are out there that do similar things to what we do here. You know, is this mental health establishment, right? Like, or I mean, we're not a mental health like clinic or nothing, but we can be a mental health partner. You know, that's what we can be known for, is like, hey, partner with the Healing Tree. You know, you're a mental health clinic, you're you know, you offer mental health services, you're going to want to partner with the Healing Tree, because they can help support what it is that you're doing in your practice. And not only that, but improve your success rates of your clients. And that's all we care about. That's all we care about. We don't want to step on toes and you know, we got to navigate guidelines and things like that, for sure. But that's all we care about, is improving the success of people's mental health, because we know that collectively what that impact will do in the society and the communities that we live in. You know, we're going to be around more happy people. We're going to be around more heart led people, you know, more conscious minded people. And then hopefully when they go into their workplaces or they go into their businesses and things like that, that they will create from that place.
Yes.
You know, and not from the scarcity mindset, the matrix ways that we've all been designed, or not designed, but like we've all been shown or programmed to do. That's the freaking collective change that, like, holy moly, by doing what we do here, we infuse ourselves into every part of the world. That's the impact, like, that we can make in millions and millions across the world, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm just going to say is I'm going to challenge you to, when you're saying that, you know, that's how people saw us, you know, I think it's the way that you are seeing us, and you're discovering your values and how you want it to be seen. So, I think that had to happen, you know, but I think sometimes we think like, oh, no, they're seeing us like this. But the reality is, like, I'm seeing myself like this. You know what I mean? But it was what guided you to see, like, what you really valued and where you wanted to go.
Well, is that true? Is that true?
We don't know.
Because, like,
you
still
don't
something,
know, though.
still some, like, when, well, maybe.
Do you know exactly that, or for sure 100% that somebody saw us that way, or however you said?
I don't know for sure.
No, we don't know. So it is not true. It is not true. Right now, you can't say that is true.
But okay, yeah. But it's just I feel like the perception that's created out there, then I will then assume that other people are seeing us just like that.
So remember,
because then
remember
people,
what assume means.
I know people. I feel like people then will put us in a box,
right?
And then
but
it becomes it becomes evidence to me when people start saying things like, "Oh, well, that other space does it like this."
Right. So all I'm saying is none of that is true. We don't know. However, what you were foreseeing was what you wanted to see the healing tree as, and how you wanted people to see it, and what you did not want it to be seen as.
And that's, I think, what the misalignment was.
Yes. And I think that's what really helped make that clear decision. No, this is what I want it to be, you know? And so, because obviously even in our own personal lives, we might think like, oh, they're thinking this about me, or like they think that. And it's like, is it true though? Like, we don't know. Like, we don't know, but is it my own judgment on myself? Probably. Is it reflecting to me how I do want to be seen? Probably. So what am I doing about it? How am I going to change that? You know?
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's what happened with us for the healing tree. And so that's what really directed us into, like, wait, that's why I say it went backwards, right? Like, now we're really seeing the vision. 3 years later.
Well, it took time, you know.
Yes.
What's coming up right now is like, it also took time. Like, I would not have been able to establish this, you know, 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
It had to happen the way it did.
Right.
I get it.
Because I think that, you know, like, I definitely would not have had the confidence or the freaking audacity that I feel like I'm leading with right now in approaching mental health professionals, saying that, like, hey, you know, you want to partner with us. Like, even though, like, to me, it can be intimidating that this person has had years and years of schooling and education. Like, that can be a little intimidating.
You've seen.
Exactly.
You know now.
The credibility.
And you can speak on that.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
there. The credibility is there.
Yes.
You know, the proof is there.
Yeah.
And we have tons of people that will speak on it, you know, and the impact that we've made. And now we can just fully be like, you want to partner with us, you know, or at least it would be a good idea. You don't have to, but
but I do feel that, you know, amongst everything else and all the unknowns and uncertainty still that there is, I feel really good as far as like going into 2026, knowing that that's the vision, because at least we're getting grounded more and more in that. And I have no doubt that that's just gonna
we
blossom,
already have two,
you know,
very powerful individuals, right? Already that have said yes. Yeah. To me, this is what's crazy. This is what like is the what makes me a freaking lunatic is that if just one person, right? In this case, if just one person says yes, then I know two people will. I know if 2 people will, then I know 3 people, and I know 4, and then I know then 5, and then 10.
Yeah, right.
And it's just a matter of putting in the work.
And then
that's it. That's all the
that
evidence I need. And I will make it happen.
Sorry. One thing that I have learned too is that you know, to say that, like, I know it will work, and then more and more and more. It's like, and in the past, I used to be like, oh, but what if, like, they don't like it, or what if, like, this doesn't work? And it's like, well, now I've learned, then you pivot again, then you refine that, then you fix that, because that's what we've had to do the last 3 years, like, nonstop. And that's what I'm grateful for. That's what I mean is priceless, right? That ability, that to have that resiliency to adapt, to change, constant damn change, you know, that's how we should be. Like, that's how we should be wired to do, you know? But we end up coming back to our comfort zone and being like, no, you know, or being led by fear, right? So it is about audacity. That's part of my 2026 words, bold and audacious. But it's about being audacious and you yourself and who you are, showing up and saying, if I don't have it now figured out, I'll figure it out.
I have so much confidence in me.
I have everything in me. I have not had my back in my most trying times. So yes, I got this.
Everything.
And that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's all said. No, I was say, like, yeah, I at this point in my life and all the experience and everything that I've done, like, I have nothing else to make me believe, like, yes, of course I have thoughts of like that, like, oh, we're gonna, you know, step into this new kind of partnership with people, and like, oh, what if things, you know, they don't like it or something, or whatever little issues come up, like, well, problems will always come up.
Yeah, that's
issues will all, like, you know, there will always be something. What I have, like, had, I think the last kind of like challenge for me to finally, like, okay, we can do this, is like believing in people, and like when those conflicts do arise, that people can have good conflict resolution skills to move through those things, because I think that's where always things fall apart, when people don't have good, healthy conflict resolution skills to get through those moments, to continue focused on the vision that we first started with, right? When we first started, there was so much, it just always happens. There's so much excitement. We believe in the vision, and we want to make it happen, and we're committed, and we, you know, we shake hands or whatever. And then we lose sight of that the second that, you know, conflict arises. You know, it's like, oh, no, let's figure that out. And let's stay focused on the vision that we first started with, and that excitement that we first started with to make it happen, right? Like, let's not stop now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we've had to learn a lot of.
We can get through that.
A lot of stuff.
We can come together and we can make big things happen. And we're going to in 2026.
Yes. So moving into 2026, that's where we're going. That's where we're going.
The goal. We will continue to develop those. We will continue to build the infrastructure for it so that it can work and that it can function smoothly. And now it's just a matter of finding the right people to partner with.
Yeah. So 2026, making a larger impact.
Yes.
In the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we're done. And that's how we end.
Yes, that's the way.
Yeah, it's been that way.